many people I know that wake up in the morning and go, oh boy, it's morning. Okay, I'm one of them. I wake up in the morning and I'm kind of excited to see what's going to happen today. I kind of look forward to the sunrise, to see what the sun has done through the night, to prepare this day for me to see what he has in store. Jesus said it a different way. He said he looked to his Father to set up the day for him, that he would spend time with his Father discussing and planning out the day and having a time where before the sun rose, he had spent time in conversation, in prayer, in communication with his Father. I kind of like that. It makes me think that I can wake up every day knowing that though sorrow may endure for but an evening, joy cometh in the morning. And I bring that up because we're going to have two morning services, so to speak, or two morning devotionals. One is sunrise, that we'll be filming those from the upper Wasatch Mountains, meaning that we're going up the mountain to film from Bountiful. And so sunrise will be filmed from the, you could call it the steps or the park that's located farther up the Wasatch Mountain Range. Who knows, maybe one day we'll be up on top of the Wasatch Mountain Range. But for now, we're going to film on the Wasatch Mountain Range. And then the second service, that'll be a little more in the morning, instead of sunrise, will be called Joy in the Morning. And it'll just be kind of a, way to set the pace for your day. To not, jump up and run out like some of us who are joy-filled, we could do that. I could roll out of bed and just immediately go, go, go. But we like to take a moment to set our direction, to understand by reflection those things that God is putting in our direction, causing us to choose the way that we should go, whether we will follow him or whether we'll act like we know the best way to go. So, in setting your day and setting the pace today, as we call this sunrise now, it's not much of a sunrise. If you woke up underneath the Wasatch Mountains, you saw a lot of snow fell last night. Matter of fact, I could see looking back over those mountains that, man, the snow level came way down. And there's frost out there all the way down the mountain. And it's tipped with, like all the green grass and the trees and the bushes and everything that the hills were all green are white. Whoa, it's awesome, but man, isn't this like a May? Looks like we got snow. I thought it got a little cold last night. My wife kept saying, man, it's, the heater kicked on. I'm thinking, yeah, I'm cold in here. And she always has, hot flashes and warm and whatever. But for me, it's like, put my electric blanket on. And so I do. I have an electric blanket that I sleep on top of. In other words, I put it underneath the mattress, so that way it heats, or underneath the bed sheet, so it heats up the mattress and it kind of comes up. And then with the blanket over, it kind of, I get to lay down on a hot bed. Hot stuff, baby. But the Lord, he always has a moment. The Father of the Lord Jesus Christ, our Creator, God, always has a pause moment. There's a certain time that the Spirit of God brings us, you could say, into direct alignment with all the planets and the stars. No, just kidding, just kidding. But there's a time when God brings us into alignment with his own nature, with who he is, that somehow the throne of God, the kingdom of heaven, seems to permeate our day at one moment in time. That moment seems to be early in the morning. That at that moment it's almost as though you could think, you could let go, you could focus your attention outside of what you can see, touch, and feel, and you can almost see heaven come down. You know, this beauty of what the mountains have done, when I look at this other hill, it's like there's a white curtain that just went right across this hill. And on one side, it's all green and lush and wet, really wet, and like, did I say wet? It's wet. Matter of fact, it looks like it would be kind of like a slushy hike, kind of muddy. But then right at the crest of the mountain, right at the very edge of where the snow fell, it's like a curtain of white. And it's not snow falling, at least I don't think so, maybe it is. But it looks like a curtain of white just came down and cut the mountain in half. That's kind of what God in heaven and God on earth does for us in the morning. There's a certain time, a certain place, where in the original garden, God walked in the cool of the evening, and he spoke with Adam. And ever since that time, our Father has desired to have that intimacy with us, that fellowship with us, that communication where we would seek to know him and seek to hear from him and seek to follow him and to be attentive to what he has planned for the day. Because this is the day the Lord has made. If you ever wanted to know what day did God make, today is the day. Pretty simple for me. Now, you may have relativity and relative issues with what day did God make, or did God make the day? And, well, you know, I mean, you could close your eyes to the fact of there being a creator, and, you know, some people do that. Or you could open your eyes and open your ears and open your heart to the Spirit of God and what he wants to show you what today is all about. Awake to righteousness and sin not. You are all children of the light and children of the day. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. It is high time to wake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that you might be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Cast away from you all your transgressions, whereby you have transgressed, and make you a new heart and a new spirit. Lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the ingrafted word which is able to save your souls. Little children, abide in him, that when he shall appear we may have confidence and not be ashamed before him at his coming. If you know that he is righteous, you know that everyone that does righteousness is born of him. You know, the superfluity of naughtiness, you know, that's kind of a interesting way of saying, hey look, you're saved. So now it's time. You've been prepared, you've gotten ready, you've had your fun, and you've had your cake and ate it too. You know, you got away with playing with, you know, being a little naughty, you know, you kind of knew that you were doing wrong, so you went ahead and played in sin and indulged in sin and got away with sin, so to speak. But now, Jesus is coming. And because he's coming soon, just like the snowbank that's up on top of the Wasatch Mountains, if you were hiking and you got caught in that, you'd be freezing to death today. You might not make it down the mountain in time to get warm and suffer from hypothermia. You would be frozen to death because you had lost that initial internal ability to generate heat and to keep the heat inside, because your body must maintain a certain factor of temperature so that you can maintain the body functions. 98.6 is what most people say. And if you don't, then you won't live. The same thing is true about the coming of the Lord. If you haven't prepared yourself, then prepare yourself. But if you are prepared, then you need to get ready for that soon arrival by setting aside the sin which so easily besets us, putting on back the armor that maybe you got carried away and you said, you know, I can get away with it for a while. It's time to get right, so that you'll begin to be the new man that you're supposed to be, so that Christians will reveal themselves by their love, by their peace, and by their joy. That's what we'll be talking about in our new segment that won't be today, but as soon as we get the new equipment, will be doing that. Joy comes in the morning, or joy in the morning. Is that joy in the morning will be about peace, love, and joy, and pursuing those fruits of the Spirit, pursuing the Spirit of God in us, so that we're not left behind because we forgot the times that we live in. Looking at those mountains, I keep thinking, oh, man, wouldn't it be great to be up there prepared with all my rain gear on and my winter clothes and maybe my armor skin, that you get that armor skin, you put it on, it keeps you warm, no matter whether you're wet or cold. And I think, wow, wouldn't it be nice to trudge around in that kind of weather, whether it's raining or snowing, whether it's hot or cold, to be able to go up there and to just walk alone with God. But I would have to have that armor skin on. I have to have my rain gear on. And because I don't, I won't. So you see, if God told me to come up the mountain, I'm not ready. But if I put on my rain gear, I'd be ready for the day of rain. So today, if I could give you a word from the Lord, if I could encourage you in our God, if I could speak to you one-on-one and say to you, listen, Jesus is coming very soon. Listen, it's obvious that you are the last generation. Listen, you've got the light inside. You are the little light that's shining in the darkness. You need to keep that bright. You need to warm up. Put on your armor. Put on your rain gear. Put on your clothes. Change them when you need to according to the weather, but still, you need to be prepared because the weather's changing. And it may not always be sunny and bright outside. Matter of fact, according to what God said, the darkness is coming and you're going to be tempted. The evil days at the end. Be prepared. Jesus is coming very soon.